Hi, my name is Sabiha Sharif, and I'm from the College of DuPage, and I work in the STEM department in biology. I'd like to share with you this wonderful book I picked up. It's called The Happiness Advantage by Shawn Achor, and it's got very useful, concrete ideas with many examples about positive thinking. I'm sure that everyone has notions about what they think positive thinking is. I know I did for sure. The hardest thing for me is realizing how concentrating on positive aspects and ignoring the negative aspects, basically denying reality, can yield positive results. It didn't make any sense to me until I realized that concentrating and placing your energy on positive aspects encourages that behavior, whereas being a Debbie Downer just allows negative energy to fester and isn't productive at all. I hope to provide a brief overview and synopsis of this book. Do pick it up. It is a good read, and you'll find that it will have a powerful impact on your life. He has a couple of principles, about 8. The first principle is called the happiness principle, and it basically states that by being happy, you can achieve your goals. By achieving your goals, you do not get happy. I mean, being a happy person makes you, and if you're having fun at work and if you're a happy person, you can get that promotion. But getting that promotion is not going to make you a happy person at work. He noticed this behavior at Harvard when he observed some students, and he watched that the ones that had more social contact actually did better and did well in school, whereas the ones who were just driven to just work, and read and study all the time didn't do as well. One thing important about positive thinking is that we can all learn to train our brains to think in this manner. Happiness, as I said, leads to success, which leads to greater success, but not the other way around. And how do we define happiness? Well, it is considered a positive mood with a positive outlook, or it's pleasure and engagement with meaning. We do not need big episodes of happiness in our life to do well. Even if we just fill our day with a little bit of joy and contentment, we can do better. Just talking to your children or grandchildren for a few minutes a day, that can make a big difference. So even a small spurt can improve performance. I'll give you an example, a counter example. There was a gentleman at work whose boss literally said to him, "You better do a good job or else. I mean, don't mess this up." And as a result of this negative reinforcement, he did very poorly. So you really don't want to ever talk like that way to a student. You always want to be encouraging and have positive ideas and thinking when you're talking to them. Some of the things we can do is meditate. That's an influx of positive energy. You can look forward to something, looking forward to the holidays, for example. That keeps you pretty, happy, in a happy place. We can do acts of kindness, especially in this tough environment. You want to also infuse positivity in your environment. Make sure you surround yourself that way. Also, another one is exercise. Exercise will get your endorphins going and make you a more positive person. If you're spending money, try to spend it on experiential experiences, because that's better than physical entities. And whatever you're good at, it could be making pies. Just bake a pie for your neighbor. That'll do wonders for you. The other thing that helps us is recognition, being recognized for what we're good at. That reaffirms, our opinion of ourselves. So that's great. So studies show that you need about 3 positive experiences for every 1 negative experience to be happy. The second principle is the fulcrum and the lever. How we experience the world and our ability to succeed in it constantly changes based on our mindset. We can change this mindset and be more fulfilled and successful. How can this be exemplified? Have you ever heard of the placebo effect? It's for real. There was actually a sham surgery conducted in a study, and it was compared to the results of people who actually got the surgery. They had exactly the same results, even though the surgery was not performed on the placebo group. So our mind frame makes a big difference. This also occurred in another study where students were given poison ivy, even though it really was not poison ivy, and they reacted allergically just as if they had. Did you also notice that when you spend time doing things and activities that you enjoy, the time goes much quicker versus, for an example, the dreaded meetings, which tend to take forever? So our state of mind is very important. If you prime your students, they will actually do better on a test. If you tell them, look, you did great on all the quizzes. I know you got this, guys. You can do this. This is nothing more than you can handle. They'll do a great job. If they have any belief that will reinforce the idea that they should do well and will do well, they will. How students identify themselves is very important too. If your students come into your class, for example, in my situation, some students come in and they say, I'm not a science student. I was never good at science. You need to help them self-identify with a more positive, image. I explain to them that they can handle it. It's literally just like any other subject. It's not any harder or easier than any other subject. Another thing we can do for our students is to explain to them the fixed versus growth mindset. I mean, if you're taking a test and you do poorly and you stay there, that's where you're going to be. But if you learn from it, then you have a real learning process in which you can gain and be a better student as a result. If there was another study where a teacher was told that her students were brilliant. I'm sure you've all heard of this example. And then her students did brilliantly, even though they tested as average. Okay. Another example he gives is of a janitor that, well, there were two janitors. One janitor referred to his job as a calling in life, and the second one, it was just a job for him. And for obvious reasons, the one who thought it was a calling did a much better job. I mean, your attitude and your frame of mind makes a big difference in how you perceive reality. So that's why we need to have the best attitude and mind frame possible. The third principle is the Tetri effect. If you focus on negativity, stress, and failure, we set up ourselves for failure. But if we retrain our brain to spot patterns of possibility, so we can see and seize opportunity whenever possible. The author actually came up with the Tetri effect when he used to play Tetri on the computer, and he noticed that, it's a game where you take different objects and you put them in a horizontal line and to go to the next level. He would actually go out in the real world and try to do that with objects, that he would see. But what it made him realize is that the way we train our minds makes a difference. So we can train our brain to scan the world for opportunities and ideas that allows our success rate to grow. So we should get caught in a positive Tetri and always have our rose-tinted glasses on. The fourth principle is called falling up. And what it basically means is that we are going to have setbacks and devastations, but we need to find a way to get out of that situation. We don't want to be learned helpless. We don't want to eliminate our motivation and not tackle a way out. I'll give you an example. There was an individual involved in an armed robbery, and when he got out of it, they asked him how he was, and he said, I'm alive and I'm well and I'm ready to face the next day. He did not say that, oh my God, why did this happen to me? My arm is broken. Horrible. This is terrible. He did not dwell on the negative. He dwelled on the positive, which made him, more inclined to favorably face the next day. So it makes a big difference how we react. We want to develop a positive explanatory style. We want to have a better counterfact. What do I mean? Given the same situation, you could either react negatively or positively. We want to use the downward momentum to propel a positive direction so that we can be more successful. The fifth one is the Zorro circle, and it's best explained by a bullseye. When we are overwhelmed, we need to regain emotions. You need to concentrate on small successes, which will eventually lead to big successes. You want to develop the control and mastery by using resources, knowledge, and confidence to expand the circle and handle bigger and bigger problems with confidence. The sixth one is the 20-second rule. This one I've commonly used in my life. This is where you make changes by making it 20 seconds easier to do the right choice. We're all a bundle of habits, and we don't want to test our willpower every day. So anything that is very difficult, an activity that you don't want to encourage, you make it very difficult to do. And an activity that you do want to encourage, you make it easy to do. So for example, if you want to become a better reader and don't want to watch TV as much, you would put your remote 3 rooms away, but put the book and a candle and flowers on the table when you get home. Same with dieting. Put those chocolate bars way up high in the room next door and have your healthy fruit and snacks right in front of you. So I think the author himself slept with his gym clothes on so that he could just get up and go. So it made it easy to kickstart a exercise habit. So you want to lower the activation energy for habits to adopt and increase the path of resistance for behaviors you don't want so that you can develop better habits. Social investment. Surround yourself with friends and family so that they can give you a new perspective, a new positive perspective. So it's basically like many positive minds working together. The 8th one is the ripple effect. And you want to share your ideas with others so there's explosive reaction, in your community of friends and family so that it affects you well, so that you always have positive energy flowing. So thank you very much for your time, and stay positive. Thank you.